Hello everybody, this is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we have Gallantmon, a Gallantmon for BT-6 meta that you're going to love. This BT-6 deck should give those Gallantmon fans what they're craving, what they're demanding, what they want. So let's dive right in. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm just testing that out to see if you actually will if I say so. And dive right in. BT-6 doesn't introduce anything much in the way of support for the Gallantmon line, but we gain a lot of support in the trial deck 7, where it's heavily focused on Gallantmon. We gain a bunch of great cards that help us out in the long game, and being able to warp Digivolve into our Mega is so clutch and so powerful. So first off, we play 4 Digimon starters that if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their trash, Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. I'm playing this over more of the starter deck Digimon because the 1000 DP requirement is easily met without having to rely on somehow deleting one of our opponent's Digimon blocker or anything like that. So this Digimon at least guarantees that power up, and because we do have Warp Evolution, we are not always guaranteed to get that full stack off, so it doesn't make sense to play the Koromon like we do in Shoutmon because we don't always have the ability to get up to the numbers we want. So this Digimon is a one-of because while your opponent's Digimon is deleted, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP for the turn. So the reason why I don't like this card at more is, as I mentioned earlier, not as consistent to get the power boost. You do have to delete one of your opponent's mons. That's a condition that might not always be guaranteed to go off, and we want consistency. Consistency is key in this game. Consistent numbers, consistent power is always important. So we play 2-drop Mondramon. You can play the 2-drop Biomon in this slot. It doesn't matter which one you go for. If you're a max rarity person, you'll play a bunch of these, but no big deal. Mondramon's just a really solid 2-drop. We're gonna play it when we're bricking a little bit. It's just another decent rookie. This Gallantmon is from the Box Topper Brawl promo pack that is exclusive for BT-6 English. So when attacking, trigger draw +1. So what I'm thinking about this is that we could either slam it down or we can bring it out, and if it survives, we get a draw +1 out of the deal, and we get another turn of being able to swing for another +1, or they'll go kill it. But it serves its purpose for 1, Digivolving and then swinging, or just hard play, draw us a card the following turn, which helps out in the long game. You could remove this and just go straight up double Agumon here and just call it a day, and it wouldn't be a problem. Agumon here, this Digimon gets 1000 DP as it's inheritable. A really powerful skill, consistent numbers, consistent power. This is Agumon from the trial deck. When this Digimon attacks a player, it gets plus 2000 DP for the turn. We're always constantly trying to swing into the security. There's very little time we'll actually swing into a Digimon stack unless it's threatening. Next, the Gallantmon. This Gallantmon is the bread and butter and backbone of the deck. This is a mandatory 4-up, so while your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon, you can Digivolve this Digimon into a Gallantmon for a Digi-Evolution cost of 4, ignoring its Digi-Evolution requirements. Really powerful, very strong skill. And then once per turn, it's inheritable. When your opponent's Digimon is deleted, draw a card. We're hoping to get that off sometimes with our options, but not all the time will that go off. We do play the 1-cost evolve blocker. The blocker is really nice. Just to be a 1-cost evolve is just so important, since our rest of our megas, I mean champions, are basically set around 2-cost evolve. So Greymon's in here for that extra security check, because multiple security checks is just too clutch and too good. Next, we do have Growlmon. So once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain a memory as it's inheritable. Really solid being able to keep it your turn, and that is why we like it, just so that if we can delete one of their mons with Atomic Blaster, Atomic Blaster is a 5-cost. Now this becomes a 4-cost. if we're on the right ultimate line and stuff like that, that means we're just playing this for cheaper and choking out our opponent, and that's sometimes just enough to get us back into the game. Next, we have Gallantmon in here for that hard play early on. I have expressed this before. Having an ultimate that you can just hard play for 5 and then go into your mega can put you ahead so far in this game, especially going first. They have to answer it, and sometimes they just don't have the answer for it. And they'll pass it to your turn, then you get to play this memory choke game. They don't always have an answer for the Gallantmon play. Next, we have Volcandramon in here for that extra security. So if we can get Greymon and Volcandramon under our Gallantmon, we can clear out multiple securities very easily and hit hard. Next, we have Rise Greymon. So while this Digimon is also treated as yellow, we don't really care. Digiburst 2, you may play a red or yellow tamer with a play cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost, which that's not bad at all. Being able to play our ties from our hand for free helps out immensely. So when attacking, if you have a tamer in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Being able to minimize threats on our opponent's side is just such a clutch move. Next, we do have Megidramon. So when Digivolving, trash both players trash the top 5 cards of their deck. So this helps out against security control and against blue. This card helps out a lot of the meta pulls and green, stuff like that. What it doesn't help against is the Chessmon, because if you mill a Sistermon, they're just fueling their advantage. And Beelzestar. Beelzestar will just say thank you for doing this. So if your meta is heavily Chessmon focused and heavy Beelzestar, do not play this card. You're just going to punish yourself for doing it. But it also has a nice on deletion. If you have a tamer in play, you may play one level 6 Digimon card with Gallantmon in its name from your hand without trashing hand, or trash without paying its memory cost. I think that's just powerful enough to justify its inclusion, especially in a blue heavy format or a green heavy format or security control heavy format. You're just gonna take advantage and punish them. We play this Gallantmon because this Gallantmon wins games. And what do I mean by that? So when it swings, when it attacks, for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash, you remove a security card. So that means less security you're gonna have to get through, go off. And to be honest with you, this card is our kind of out to Beelzestar, because they're gonna fill up their graveyard constantly. And then we can just warp Digivolve into this thing, swing in, take out 3 security by its own effect at times, and then boom, your opponent's just taking hits that they didn't want to take because they're falling behind. And then if you have a red tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's basically blockers. You're going to delete one of your opponent's blocker with this Gallantmon. That is the end goal. Next, we have the security +1 Gallantmon. It's a 3 cost, which is really nice for its evolve. And when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 or less DP. If this effect did not delete a Digimon, it gains another 3000 DP. So he becomes a 14k beat stick on his own, which is very powerful in a lot of situations, and you can take advantage of that. And it just hits magic numbers like you want to. Then we have Omnimon Alter S. This is for the Rookie Rush matchup, since we don't have really a much out to it. At least being able to clear Digivolve and then clear out a bunch of rookies is just really good. And then making it so we can go in for that lovely unblockable turn is just super good. Blitz is in here for after our Gallantmon swings in and removes a couple securities. Then we can Digivolve in this for game. He's our game finisher. Especially gets us that free win a turn early, just because that restand swing in is really nice with its blitz. And then it's got a self-protection, which makes it a lot harder to kill, which is super good. Next, we do have Gaia Force in here, so if our opponent hits that Gaia Force in security, they're punished. And then we have Atomic Blaster. Delete any number of your opponent's Digimon whose DP is 8000 or less. This is what I mean by having a very powerful option that can come down from being a 5 cost to a 4 cost, or maybe even a 3 cost if you have the right setup. And then you just clear out an ultimate, or you can just clear out multiple rookies and just make your opponent cry. Then we have Tai Kamiya, because getting that extra security check is really important, and it punishes our opponent later on. But if you have if you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. It's really nice to be able to set ourselves to 3 and get us going again. Here are some very nice tech cards you can definitely play. If you feel like it, OG Omnimon's just really still solid choice, especially if you're going to go the route of adding like Mega Fusion and some white tamers. You definitely go that route. It's not a bad tech choice. You could definitely play Blitz Greymon to de-digivolve over big Digimon like Lord Nightmon and stuff like that, just to punish them further, just because being able to de-digivolve and then have Pierce, you can just get in for that extra damage that you might have not have been able to. Rescuemon's in as another solid option, though your top end won't like it as much, but if you're splashing it as a 2 of, not terrible. It's got reboot, so he's harder to kill, but he also has when Digivolving reveal the top card of your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon in play. You may play a 1 black or red card with a play cost 5 or less, well, level 5 or less from among them without paying its memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. It's a really solid filter card, very get back in the game kind of card. We have a Gunimon. Since we are playing ties, you could definitely play some tamers in here just to go off. Marcus, if you really feel like you can add some more Greymon in that line, but definitely don't waste your time if you don't feel like it. Marcus is a pretty solid tech choice. Next, Shine Greymon to boot. It's got security +1 and then piercing. Just because it's got that extra security and being able to pierce in for a 12k body is just so good. It's the reason why the decks red started coming back in BT-6 format. I mean, before BT-6 format, because this card existed. Shine Greymon was just such a powerhouse, being able to pierce and then security check, and multiple security checks on a pierce is just nutty. Next, you have Corjamon in here for that blocker. If you feel like you need 6k blockers, definitely go for it. X antibody, just to be X antibody annoyance. Being able to clear out Digimon, prevent attacks is just so good. Next, you do have Gazamon. Gazamon is in here, so your other Gazamon all get plus 3000 DP, which is okay by me. Just becoming a little more beefier. Then your opponent can't reduce Digimon costs, so shutting down Nokia plays, stuff like that, just really does help out in the end game. And then you could definitely play some Figimon. Figimon is definitely a good 1 cost 3 play, so definitely very solid tech options, guys. A lot of the deck is very self-dependent on how you play it and how you feel comfortable with it. So guys, remember, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.